Talk about those those 4 points of mindset, identity, re-engineering, building the online business, and the shift in your dating life from, I mean, you went from horrible, crippling one-itis to you're pretty much spoiled for choice with everything that you do.
So the question was around like this mindset, body, like how did I transform this mindset, body, women, money, women stuff? So is it okay if I go into an exercise with the guys now, Rich, to kind of show them what happened for me?
Yeah, is this something that they can follow along with and do themselves, or?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I thought I'd like to try and do that if that's okay.
Fire away. Go ahead. It's all yours.
Okay, cool. So anybody, let me see if I can watch the chat as well as we're doing this. But basically, guys,
I'll keep an eye on the chat for you. So if there's a question that pops up, then I can just stick it up on the screen like that.
Yeah, so this is what I did, but I didn't do this with the understanding I have now. So this is the improved version, if you will. And this is the thing when we teach our business coaches, even though we teach them like hundreds of different things, this is always what they come back is like the most useful in essence. Now, I've changed it to be specific for guys. But if you think about guys and what they want to achieve or what they need in life, there's kind of 4 quadrants. You've got mindset, you've got body and physical goals, you've got your money and finance life, and then you've got your women, dating, sex life. Okay? So hopefully the chat kind of agrees with that. Yeah, you've got hobbies and other stuff outside of that. But if you're missing any one of these, like life can suck a little bit. You got plenty of money, but you can't get any women, sucks a little bit. If you got, women, but you don't have your health, or if you feel like you don't have purpose, then that, so these are, I think, the main ones in my view. Now, I'm going to give these different names. So the mindset is psychology, the body is physical, money is environment, and women is relationships. I don't want to get into all the boring academic stuff behind it, but this is based on the work of Ken Wilber, and he calls them the individual interior, that's the mindset. He calls the body the individual exterior, the money side the collective exterior, and the relationship side the collective interior. So basically, we just found that these words come up over and over again in different languages. So it's a good way to view reality of like what needs to be there. So this is an exercise you can do to figure out maybe where your blind spots are, like what was missing for me. So the first thing is I just want you to pick a goal. So if you look at those 4 quadrants, just decide a goal. And we're not going to go into like the keys of goal setting, but quickly just to help you, like make sure it's like present tense, specific, and positive focus. So you don't be like, I want to stop smoking. Don't make it a negative, make it a positive. So it might be, I have an online business that earns $10,000 a month, okay? Or I have a perfect like 1 V taper, golden ratio, 1.618. Whatever you want. I weigh 180 pounds. Just pick a goal. That's the first step. Then quickly, we'll give you like a minute to do this, and Rich and I will talk as you do it. List out everything you need to achieve that goal. So this is where I was. So start doing that now. So I felt I was doing absolutely everything to build my businesses, felt like I was trying to be the perfect guy to attract the right women and stuff like that, and just not getting the results I want. And so I want you to take that goal and just list it all out. So I'll give a little bit of help as an example. You can do it for your goal, but just while people have time to do it. So let's say you wanted to build a $10,000 a month business. It's what a lot of people who I've worked with in the past want to do. Then maybe you need an online sales funnel. Okay, that's what most people talk about. Maybe you think you need a product. Maybe you're going to need some level of accounting software. Maybe you think you're going to need a community of some kind. So list all that out. Rich, what's going on in the comments?
Well, we got some people saying gold looks good. Exactly. They're just kind of agreeing with it. You'll probably find a lot will just pause or maybe be watching the rerun anyway.
Okay,
so
cool.
Probably just let them pause it, write down their notes, and then they can just resume.
Perfect. Guys, so if you're watching this later, pause it. Take as long as you want to do it. And then we're just going to do the 3rd step. And this is the final step of it, but it hopefully will bring some things to light. Now what you want to do is you want to categorize your list into the quadrants. So the psychology, physical. So I'm going to show you. So let's say to build a $10,000 a month online business. So what most people will happen, and let's say yours was a fitness goal, you may have certain things like, okay, I need workouts, I need a nutrition plan. So just choose which one it relates to most. So if it's for example, to build the $10,000 per month online business, things like a scalable training product and website, they're quite physical, tangible things. Something like a high converting sales funnel, you could argue that's in the physical quadrant, but really you can't have a high converting one if it doesn't take into account what everyone else is doing. Same with your unique offer. And then like an engaged community, for example, that involves other people. So you can see this takes a bit of practice, but you can start to separate out the different things. And what you may find is that you've got most of your things in one quadrant, okay? And this is what a lot of online training programs do, which is what we'll get to in a second. I don't know if you want to comment in the chat whether you had most in one particular quadrant or if you've got any questions about it.
No questions showing up, just some comments here.
Okay.
Jeff says, women in mindset for me, goal of refocusing priorities for me. So yeah,
Cool.
you'll probably find that you're going to
Yeah.
hover in a certain area. I mean, probably around money and women for the most part. I think guys, especially if they've got their head screwed on, right?
Yeah, this is slightly, like I'm trying to go past the money and women. I was just trying to show those four of how they relate to these four. So now you could have a specific woman goal, and now we're using these four quadrants again. So basically my point is most of the time you're missing one quadrant. So let's say you've missed the psychology of building the business. You're going to need a ton of focus. You're going to need a ton of energy. And if you haven't considered those things, and this is what most online programs don't consider, they never even teach people who've never been entrepreneurs before how to have the level of focus and dedication and energy that they need to build that. Maybe you missed good accounting in the physical side, business process, affiliates, great branding. And so what you have to do is you have to start figuring out where the quadrants are that you're missing in essence, because otherwise it's like a chair with three legs. You know, it's unstable, the goal you're trying to achieve. Or it's like a car with a flat tire. You're just going to move slowly because you're always going to be fighting it. So maybe I should actually jump ahead to some examples of this, Rich, before I share the next bit.
Yeah, go ahead. I love how prepared you are for this, man. I was expecting us just kind of chop up some ideas and talk about your unplugging, from your old
We can do that.
conditions back over to the alpha side of thing. And no, I want you to stay on this because this is amazing. Like I love the way that you organize stuff, right?
Okay, cool. So guys, let's actually take it. I was going to show you something else first, which I think will really help break this down, but I want to kind of keep that away from you until I don't want to give you the answer ahead of the time so this can unfold properly. So let's say your ideal body, this quadrant approach, right? So let's say you decide a cutting or bulking program and you buy it like Athlean X or somebody like that. And that program teaches people how to lose fat, gain muscle, get that perfect V taper. But they do it from a diet mentality side. So I know someone who's a leader in the manosphere struggled to lose weight for ages, and they got real results with, I think it's called Noom or something, which is all focused on the diet mentality. They hardly touch nutrition or anything. So they're all focused there. So you buy that program, you're all excited, and you're learning all this new stuff about diet mentality. So you're getting your psychological quadrant fixed. But then what happens if you are surrounded by, like the family's got bad foods, and so you're surrounded by them all the time. So your environment sucks, These are always talked about in different ways, but no one ever really puts them together about why they're all important together. So your environment quadrant isn't stabilized. Then let's say you start doing fasting or you do some other stuff, and now you're getting all these dopamine rushes. Or at the same time, you decide to quit watching TV because you make all these habits. And where you used to get your dopamine rush, your brain's now going, no, we need dopamine, get something sugary. So you've got all these neurological cravings. Or that you're scared of others seeing you fail because you've tried this before. So you're unstable in the relationship with others quadrant. So you can see how this new program that you're now telling you it's your fault that you failed because everyone else got results. It's not really your fault. You've got all these other areas the program never covered to help you actually get what you needed. And what often happens is the program creator didn't do this deliberately. They just had a shift in all four quadrants finally. They hit a brick wall and they finally got over those other things, but they latched onto one particular aspect making the change. And that ends up being a chair with three legs. It's a car with a flat tire. So you'll either get no change at all or it'll not last. It'll come tumbling down because you'll just grind through it for a few months. So for the change...
Just to kind of chime in here for a second, just to put it in perspective, I see a lot of guys on YouTube, especially in the pre-roll ads. I've seen these ads run on my channel and other channels. Sometimes it's like wingman women selling courses. Sometimes it's like pickup artists selling, hey, you know, if you regurgitate these 3 lines or this one special text, you know, you're going to get her to come over and boink your brains out in 15 minutes. The thing that you got to understand about all of these things is, you know, you can have the perfect delivery system, the perfect regurgitate these lines and follow up with this text, and after she does this and do that. And I'm not a big fan of these, you know, prescriptive A, B, C, D, E. I'm more a fan of the mindset component, which is why I really like the way that you've structured this here as an example, because like somebody pointed out earlier, this will work for pretty much everything in your life. But yeah, a 3-legged chair is utterly useless. And that's what a memorize these 3 lines in these four text program is really all about. If you haven't got your, you know, your mindset, your physical, you know, your environment, all the other stuff, haven't got all your ducks lined up, it's all going to collapse on itself. And it's no surprise why some guys don't get good results when they're buying these, hey, get my wingman course or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'll touch on, I want to unpack the manosphere a bit about where guys are focused on not just one quadrant, but even a subsection of one quadrant. Maybe we should go to that now, or I can just show a few more examples.
Yeah.
Which
whatever you decide's best, you know. We got we got another half an hour to go, so.
Cool. I'll just go quickly through this. Let's say the build a business one, because a lot of guys I've worked with, or even when I didn't used to work with guys when it was just a full personal growth brand. A lot of people wanted to start their own business. So let's say you buy a business startup or business growth program course from like Sam Ovens, Alex Becker, somebody like that. So they give you all the business growth ideas and what to do. Brilliant. You're all excited. You've got all this stuff. But then you hit these limiting beliefs around money that limit your success. So now maybe you think you don't deserve money, or that money or wealthy people are bad. So that's an obstacle in your psychological quadrant. You also got low energy. So you struggle to motivate yourself for the challenges ahead because you're so tired. That's a physical quadrant thing. Let's say you fear that if you do get wealthy and successful, you'll lose your family and friends because you'll be more successful than them. Then now you've got a problem there. Or maybe if you've got a partner, you feel guilty for working on your business when you should be spending time with them. Should be being the belief you created in your mind. So you've got this great course, and you're not getting results, and you're blaming yourself, but it's not really completely your fault when you didn't know all this other stuff. They just told you, oh, this is all you needed to do, when actually there's quite a few different things you have to get in place that made the shift. So maybe someone else who's selling that business growth course, they finally just said they hit such a brick wall. Maybe they were like me, where they were £30,000, taking out loans of £30,000, and they said, I don't even care what the Facebook comment says. I need to advertise and I need to earn some damn money. So I'm getting over that limiting belief. They just did that, but they don't put that in the course because they think it's how they structured the image on the Facebook ad. Okay. So this is where it causes massive problems. It's a car with 3 flat tires. It'll slow you down. Another one really fast, improve self-confidence. So psychological quadrant, that's where you want to build better beliefs. Well, what happens if you've got a fight or flight response triggered too easily? Then you've got a problem in the physical quadrant because you're feeling anxious or on high alert all the time. What if you've got an angry boss that's putting you down or always putting you on edge in the job you're in? It causes problems and destabilizes it all the time because all the quadrants are going to affect each other, okay? So hopefully you can see now how most mainstream products oversimplify things. And the only reason I want to share this is a lot of guys get into so much guilt and blame. They're not where they want to be. And yeah, we probably can all do more, but it's also not entirely your fault because and it's not the program creator's fault. They just don't know this stuff. I was very unique to get an insight, like peek behind the doors of working in this leadership development company that really helped uncover this. So I just thought it would be useful to share that stuff. And you may have experienced that in the past. Have that. I don't know in the comments if anyone's done that. You know, maybe you've spent thousands on courses and self-development or marketing stuff or business stuff, and something just keeps holding you back, or you haven't got the results that you really want and know you deserve.
Yeah. Can you take us over to the manosphere stuff so that it kind of
yeah. I'm really excited
resonate a
to.
little bit strongly with these guys because I know that they're more familiar with that than they are anything else for the most part.
Yeah, I'm super excited to share this. So this is something I just created recently to break this concept down more. So we've obviously got the manosphere. Just for the time being, I want to replace it with the manosphere. So if we have these 4 quadrants that hopefully we can all agree, maybe we should have got more agreement. I can't see the chat while I'm managing screens and all sorts. Hopefully we can all agree these are the 4 really important pillars for men.
Yeah, those are big ones, 100%.
Yeah, okay, good. Rich, we'll use you as the king and leader, and you can verify it all to whether I'm talking nonsense or not. And so basically, if we now, so we've got psychology, physical, relationship, environment. But now let's dive a little bit deeper. We can break mindset down into that even further. So if we go into the psychology side of mindset, so we've gone even deeper, we could look at things like mindfulness, emotional intelligence, other stuff. On the physical side of mindset, if that makes sense, it can get a little tricky. Imagine this. You've got kind of self-image. On the relationship with others side of mindset, you've got tribe. On the environment and what it means to be part of something bigger in the mindset, you've got kind of purpose and meaning. So we can break it down further. On the body stuff, we've got performance, health, longevity, aesthetics. So you can see how aesthetics is part of the body quadrant, but it kind of relates to the relationship with other side, because the aesthetics is what you want to be to attract the women that you want, if that makes sense. So that quadrant there, I don't know if you can see my mouse, of body kind of relates to the relationship with other side here. Longevity kind of relates to you surviving in your environment, that kind of thing. Same with money. We can break it down into, okay, well, you got your expenses, your budget, biggest expense is tax. Probably for most people, you've got your income, you've got your investments, you've got your debt. And then in the woman quadrant, you've got things that people talk about. You've got your frame, you've got game that you need to be able to do. You've got being able to actually date and get to sex. You've got the red pill, SMV type stuff in here as well. So you can see the red pill stuff is in the environment section of the woman part, if that makes sense. Because they're helping you understand and navigate the environment and what's happening there. So this is where it might start to make more sense and why we struggle. So if we take the mindset quadrant, now obviously for each quadrant there is so many different people you can choose from. I've just chosen some very well-known ones and who I consider very, very good in many ways at what they do. So for example, the mindfulness, you've got people like Sam Harris. For the tribe section, obviously we've got our very Richard Cooper, who's building, the 1%, the entrepreneurs in cars and everything like that. And even though many of these guys will do multiple things, so Rich talks about business and all this other stuff, I've just tried to give the ones where they are the top dog in essence, or at least what they focus on the most. So Lewis Ho's example wrote a book about the mask of masculinity, and whether you think that it's good or not, his focus is the self-image side of things in that book a lot. Jordan Peterson, purpose and meaning. On the body side, so the performance, you've got people like Tim Ferriss, health, Dr. Michael Greger, created nutritionfacts.org, Ben Greenfield on longevity, aesthetics, you've got so many. You've got Athlete X, you've got all the fitness people. I just had to choose somebody. But I'm just trying to show you, as an example, you go and buy Jeff Cavalier's Athlete X program to learn how to build the body you want, and it's a small section of one core pillar that isn't taking into consideration everything you want as a man. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it at all, because it's great stuff. You should just go in there with realizing you need to support it with the other quadrants. So if we look at the money one, on the expenses, we've got people like Andrew Henderson of Nomad Capitalist, 7 people on taxes. Alex Becker teaching about online programs and doing that. Graham Stephan on investments. Dave Ramsey, debt and budgeting and all that kind of good stuff. And then the women's side, you've got guys like Black Dragon, Caleb Jones on the sex, dating. And again, Caleb talks about all kinds of stuff and business and all sorts, but he's brilliant at that kind of section. I'm just showing you some examples. You've got Rolo on the red pill, Paul Benjamin on the frame thing. who's part of the 1%, who's absolutely fantastic. John Sommes. I also had Myron Gaines down there in the game section. I didn't know where to put everybody. So there's lots of other people, and choose your favorite one. And some of them include multiple quadrants, but some are very focused and niched as well. But the point is you need to realize that if you're going to get to where you want, that you have to take like a full quadrant approach. And hopefully what we did at the start of the exercise, you saw that there are blind spots to what you're doing. And so it's really, really important to be able to see that and realize that that's what you're going to need to do in order to get to where you want to be. Otherwise, it's the chair with 3 legs, it's the car with 3 flat tires, like we've been saying.